Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to the channel, fellow grown-up collectors of plastic things. Now today I want to talk about 5 figures that I hate to love. Now what does that mean? Well, it's pretty simple. It's kind of like back in the day when you pretended to hate Nickelback and then This Is How You Remind Me came on in the car and you were just belting it out. This is how you remind me. That's similar to what I'm talking about here today. It's these figures that either maybe they're just not popular at all and they're commonly hated, but I don't know, I like it anyway. But there are other reasons to hate to love a figure. It could be that they're controversial figures that might get you in trouble for liking. Maybe they're fatally flawed in some engineering way, or it has something wrong with it that you wish you could just forget about because it's such a badly made figure, but you love it anyway, so you wish it were better. So those are kind of the parameters for this list. So again, today I'm just going to quickly talk about 5 figures that I absolutely hate that I love. Okay, for our first figure, and these are in no particular order by the way, we have to go all the way back to 1992, an era when I was actually, quite frankly, out of Transformers. I was in high school, about to graduate high school and moving on. So they're figures I didn't mess with at all at the time, but of course I'm coming back to them now and finding that I really enjoy a lot of these G2 figures. And so number 1 on this list is going to have to be G2 Megatron. This, of course, is the first time we see Megatron as an M1A1 Abrams tank, and more importantly, not a gun. Now, if I were a proper G1 fanboy, I would probably have to hate this just because it's not a gun that I could run around terrorizing my family with. It's a tank, and it's the first tank. But I don't hate him. As a matter of fact, I absolutely love him. He's a big, chunky boy. He has almost no articulation to speak of, but he's still awesome. These 90s bright colors, the green, everything is just incredible. And by the way, if you go to the comics, he has a connection with G.I. Joe that makes him even cooler. So you want to check that out in the comics. Regardless, he has this insane busty top and then these tiny little baby feet that are just absolutely hilarious. But regardless of all those things, I absolutely love this guy. And he even makes noise. And honestly, the robot mode isn't even the best part. Like I said, this is the first time we see Megatron as a tank, and I think it's literally the best time. This, in my opinion, is the coolest Megatron tank we ever got to date. This thing is absolutely incredible. It's big, it's loud, it's 90s colors, everything about it screams just 90s. Anyway, you have cool stuff like he has big stick on this side of his gun, and on the other side it says, "Eat me." Wait, no, "Eat this, Autobots." I mean, that's just too cool. This thing is just, it is so solid and incredible, and at least in tank mode, you wouldn't even know this thing transforms. I mean, they really focused for the tank mode here. He has this top part that can open up, and he can actually load, I think, like 4 missiles at a time. I don't have any missiles. I'll be ordering some on eBay so I can play with that feature, but he could rapid fire missiles, and he would actually make noises for that too. Although on my copy, you have to do it a few times to get the noises. But anyway, what you do is pull this back and then fire. And if we do it enough, we'll get the sound. So I think the 3rd time is a charm. There we go. We get that cocked and loaded sound. There we go. Now I'm sure when this first came out of the packaging, it worked a lot better than it does now. This is a 40-some-year-old figure, so you know, we take what we can get. But I absolutely love this tank mode. I love G2 Megatron. I should want him to be a Walter P-38, but I don't care. This tank is incredible, and I'm super happy to have this guy in my collection. As big and bulky as he is, with all the lack of articulation and everything else, he's big, beautiful, and I love this guy. Okay, for number 2 on the list, I'm going to ask you to step back maybe just 2 steps, okay? We just want to be a little careful with this one. This figure comes from Revenge of the Fallen, even though the character wasn't actually in Revenge of the Fallen. Regardless, it's an absolutely incredible figure in my opinion, despite all its flaws. I am talking about Stratosphere. Now, he is an odd one right off the bat because Stratosphere, of course, did not appear technically in Revenge of the Fallen. The character itself appeared in Rise of the Beasts, but the only figure we ever got of Stratosphere from the movies is this guy right here from Revenge of the Fallen. But this is based on the cargo plane that dropped Optimus Prime into battle. It's kind of an amalgamation of various military cargo planes. They didn't get a license or anything, but they needed a Transformer figure. They need a lot of Transformers figures because they were selling really well, so they gave us Stratosphere. And I absolutely love this guy. even though, of course, he looks kind of ridiculous. He has these big, giant feet that look like water skis or something on each foot. The legs have a basically straight up 90-degree split right here, but that helps with his balance. He has these kind of lobster claw hands with this red, and then he has this amazing, I think, face sculpt with light piping all over it, which is absolutely incredible, and then these giant wings that just stick up on the top. I love this guy, even though to a lot of people he might look absolutely ridiculous. But the reason I hate to love him is because he has an expiration date and it is already passed. This figure is actually my second version of Stratosphere I own. This is my first one. And now he lives inside this box because when I transformed him the first time, he broke. So then I realized I was gonna need a second Stratosphere. So I keep him in jet mode, and then I have this guy who will stay in robot mode. I'm gonna put this down really carefully. Anyway, obviously it's the gold. It's the gold plastic here. He is the poster boy for gold plastic syndrome. He has the gold in the shoulders here on these joints, and he has the gold in his thighs. And that's what happened to me the first time around I transformed him. He broke right here on the thigh. That piece broke, and I could probably fix it. There are ways to do that, but they're not great. And amazingly, I don't think anyone has ever given us a 3D print model to replace these thighs, which would be great. The transformation process is actually a lot of fun. That's what also kills me, is because I can't do it because I'll break it if I do it. But it's actually a really clever transformation process. I'll put a video right here showing the one time I did it, and I will never do it again, and you can see that it also broke. I made a whole short about him. Regardless, I absolutely love this guy, and it's just a shame I can never transform him again, and I really want Hasbro to make another version of this. Give us a leader, at least a Voyager class of Stratosphere. Please, Hasbro, we need this guy. He is absolutely awesome. And by the way, yes, he appeared in Rise of the Beast, but we didn't get a toy for that yet. And he also appeared in the Dark of the Moon video game. So there are other places to find this character. Of course, in Rise of the Beast, he looks almost completely different, but it's Stratosphere. He's a cargo plane. It's the same sort of thing. But yeah, absolutely love this guy. Can't transform him again, and I hate it. And at this point, we can throw in one of our first honorable mentions, and that would have to be Protoform Starscream. Because just look at him. He's just covered in gold plastic. I bought this guy brand new, and I knew I was never going to take him out of the packaging. I'm never going to try to transform this guy. Just ain't going to happen, which is a shame because I would love to. I love these Protoform figures. There was an Optimus as well that I believe is not gold plastic. I don't have him yet, but I'll definitely pick him up. But as an honorable mention, here's another one. I love this guy. It's a shame he's gold plastic, and I wish they'd give us a new version of these Protoforms because I think they're pretty cool. Okay, so for the third figure, it's probably more of a why. What's your problem? Why can't you just love him? And why do you hate to love him? Well, it has to do with the fact that I guess for the most part, I grew up in G1 era, and I really love Transformers that transform into vehicles and things like that. And I never really got into Transformers transforming into Beast much past the Insecticons, which I absolutely loved. Regardless, all of it is great. And by the way, the Beast Wars show itself is incredibly well written, and I will stand by that. I love the Beast Wars era as far as the shows. I've been working my way through them, and I'm surprised at how heavy the themes are and how good the writing is. Sure, the graphics may not be the best, but they're not as bad as people make them out to be. Regardless, I tend to not want to collect Transformers that turn into Beast because I'm just trying to keep my collection focused. I absolutely love Transmetal 2 Megatron. This guy is an imposing, beautiful figure. I mean, just right off the bat. The colors, everything about him is absolutely amazing. When they released this Legacy version, I just jumped on him right away. I was just struck by the giant wingspan. The fact that he turns into a dragon is pretty cool. Everything about him is just incredible. The design is top notch. It's incredibly cartoon accurate. And it's just an amazing figure. But again, I didn't want to collect Beast figures for a lot of different reasons. Also, a lot of them have these giant wings and they're shelf hogs. It's similar to Onyx Prime. I ended up loving Onyx Prime, but he's definitely a shelf hog, and it's hard to display these guys because you want to display them with the wings out and everything else and make them look as cool as possible, but they are shelf hogs. And again, I'm trying to keep my collection mostly focused, and Beast Wars and other Transformers that turn into Beast, I tend to try and avoid, and so for the most part I have. But the problem is, I love Transmetal Megatron so much, I kind of want to collect some of the other figures from that era to add to a little mini collection of these guys. And there I am. Now I have to buy other stuff. So it would be easier to just not love Transmetal 2 Megatron as much as I do, but I can't. I mean, this mode, the robot mode, is absolutely incredible. Again, I love this flaming, translucent bit of fire or lava or whatever that the dragon head arm is breathing out. And of course, the dragon mode is absolutely incredible as well. It's just an all-around top-notch peak figure. I just don't think anyone can argue that. So again, yeah, it should be easy to love, but I just don't want to get into collecting these guys too much, but I can't help it. I hate it, but I absolutely love this guy.
Thank you.
Psst, come here. No, come here. We gotta talk about some stuff that I don't want to talk about, okay? Because the last two figures we're going to talk about, well, not just two figures, but a group of figures and a single figure, are somewhat controversial figures for different reasons, and you'll see why soon enough. And I get the issues folks have with them, but I also just can't help loving these figures, so I collect them anyway. So at number 4 in this list, it's not one single figure, but it's two characters that I find myself collecting quite a bit, and that has to be Skids and Mudflap. To start off with, this ice cream truck mode is amazing. I believe this is how we first saw Skids and Mudflap in Revenge of the Fallen before they were converted into their Chevy Spark or whatever sort of concept art version of the Chevy Spark. Well, what would eventually be the Chevy Spark. Their looks. They originally started out as this ice cream truck. And this ice cream truck is just absolutely incredible. I love everything from the little ice cream cone on top to the creamy ice cream on logos on the side, the ice cream, the translucent windows on the front. Everything about it is incredible, and the fact that it splits apart and becomes two figures, while not the greatest figures, I have to say it's just such a cool, unique figure. Again, why would I hate to love this? Well, of course, Skids and Mudflap don't come without controversy, and I know the controversy, and we're not going to talk about it here, but you understand. A lot of people just absolutely hate these characters, although I have to say, the other times I've made videos about them, I get a lot more people who seems to be defending them than actually hate the characters, but I'm not even jumping into the debate. I just have to say I really love collecting Skids and Mudflap. And you'll see, I'll show you on my desk, I have not all the Skids and Mudflap figures, but quite a few of them. The Human Alliance Skids is an absolutely incredible figure. I really love that guy. And I like their deluxe modes as well. And then the two figures we got for Dark of the Moon, even though Michael Bay, listening to his fans, decided not to put them in Dark of the Moon, we did get figures from Dark of the Moon. And I think those are fun as well. The fact that they take two characters that are the same vehicle but have different transformations and become different robots. They might not be the prettiest robots, but it's just a fun, clever bit of engineering. And so I don't know why, but I just really enjoy collecting them. I hate it, but I absolutely love these figures, even though maybe I don't love the characters. Okay, I definitely saved this one for last because I knew some people would probably just click off if we started off with this guy. And so fair enough for that. But I can't help it. I love this guy anyway. This figure that I love so much is Alternator's Optimus Prime. Now, of course, it's not actually Alternator's Optimus Prime. It's the retooling of Alternator's Optimus Prime. That is Player's Convoy. I know we don't say it, but I said it. I didn't mean to say it, but I said it. This is an absolutely stunning Dodge Ram in every way, and this Kiss Player's Convoy version just adds that extra bit of detailing that brings him to the next level. And I would not have this in my collection in spite of where he came from. Now, I made a video on him before, and it's funny, you make a video about Kiss Players, half the people told me we don't talk about Kiss Players and you suck for even bringing it up. And the other half, because I complained about Kiss Players a little bit, called it performative virtue signaling. So we don't talk about it because you can't win. Either way you talk about them. Regardless, Kiss Player's Convoy is absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, a really incredible, unique Optimus Prime figure that I think is good to have in any collection. The robot mode, of course, looks ridiculous, and the transformation process is pretty terrifying as well. I only recently got him solidly back into this truck mode to where he looks actually this good and this complete. But look, even underneath, he just looks so good. I mean, that's the whole Alternators line, the Boneltech line, all of these figures, these licensed scale model vehicles, all look pretty good in spite of the robot modes being definitely hit or miss. But I love this version, and I do think the robot mode is goofy but awesome as well, and he comes with a surfboard weapon. That's absolutely incredible. But hey, we don't have to give him to Melissa. We can get rid of her, and we can put Michaela in the truck instead. So, you know, we can get rid of that part, get rid of a lot of the lore and get rid of those comics, and we can focus on what is an absolutely incredible truck and an absolutely incredible figure that I love. I shouldn't. I hate it. But I love it, and he's absolutely staying in my collection. Anyway, that's it. That's 5 characters that I absolutely hate to love, but I love them anyway. And again, let's be honest, 2025, love what you want, enjoy it. These are toys. We're just having fun. It's all subjective, but please let me know down in the comments a figure or two that you absolutely hate that you love, whether it has to do with the fact that it has some pretty bad engineering, or whether it has to do with the fact that it's a commonly hated figure but you love it anyway. Whatever the reason is, let's have some fun and talk about figures that we love, even though we hate it. Have a great day. No, you can't touch it.